The Rise of a Don, Dawood Ibrahim's Early Years. The name Dawood Ibrahim Kaskar is one that echoes far beyond the crowded, bustling streets of his native Mumbai. It is a name that has become synonymous with India's underworld, a symbol of terror, power, and a criminal empire that stretched across continents. His story is not just a chronicle of crime, it is a complex tapestry woven with threads of politics, economics, and the very social fabric of a metropolis. To understand the man who would become India's most wanted, one must journey back to the dusty lanes of Dongri, a Muslim-majority area in South Mumbai, in the 1960s and 70s. This was the crucible where the dawn was forged. Born on December 26, 1955, Dawood was the third of 12 children in a lower-middle-class household. His father, Ibrahim Kaskar, was a head constable in the Mumbai police, a man known for his honesty and dedication to his job. It was a classic case of a son diverging dramatically from his father's path. The young Dawood was sharp, ambitious, and restless. The confines of a modest, disciplined life held little appeal for him. He dropped out of school after the 10th grade, his ambitions already reaching for something far beyond the classroom walls. The streets of Mumbai in the 70s were a vibrant, chaotic, and often brutal training ground. The city, then still called Bombay, was India's economic powerhouse, a melting pot of opportunities, both legitimate and illicit. The underworld at the time was dominated by the Pathans, a group of Afghan and Pashtun immigrants known for their brute force and control over the smuggling and narcotics trade. They were the old guard, ruling with fear and physical dominance. Dawood and his elder brother Sabir began their foray into this world with small-time crimes, pickpocketing, minor smuggling, and acting as muscle for local gangs. But Dawood possessed a quality that set him apart from his contemporaries: a strategic mind. He was not content to being just another street thug. He observed, he learned, and he planned. He understood that while the Pathans relied on fear, there was power in building loyalty, in creating a network. The turning point in his early career, and indeed in the history of Mumbai's underworld, came with a brutal event in 1981. His brother, Sabir, who was by then a rising figure in the criminal landscape, was murdered in a hospital bed by the Pathan gang, led by Karim Lala and his men. This was not just a killing. It was a message, a display of dominance by the established powers. For Dawood, it was a personal and professional catalyst. The death of his brother ignited a fierce desire for revenge and a ruthless determination to seize control. He realized that to defeat the Pathans, he needed to modernize.
The 1993 Bombay bombings, a nation forever scarred. The early 1990s marked a dramatic turning point in the saga of Dawood Ibrahim. His criminal empire, now known as D Company, was flourishing. He controlled smuggling routes, narcotics networks, and had deep penetration into Bollywood and real estate. However, events were unfolding that would push him from being a powerful gangster to becoming an enemy of the state. The catalyst was the Babri Masjid demolition on December 6, 1992. The destruction of the mosque in Ayodhya triggered massive communal riots across India, with Mumbai experiencing some of the worst violence. The riots left deep scars on the city's social fabric, with hundreds dead and communities polarized. For Dawood Ibrahim, who had always maintained his connections to his roots in Mumbai's Muslim communities, these events were personal. According to intelligence reports and subsequent investigations, Dawood and his key lieutenants felt compelled to respond to the perceived injustice against Muslims. This sense of grievance became the motivation for one of the most devastating terrorist attacks in Indian history. The planning for the bombings began in early 1993, with key meetings taking place in Dubai and Pakistan. Dawood's brother, Anis Ibrahim, became actively involved in the operational planning. The blueprint was chilling in its scale and sophistication. The plan involved simultaneous explosions at multiple high-profile locations across Mumbai. The targets were chosen for maximum impact: the Bombay Stock Exchange, Air India building, Fishermen's Colony in Mahim, hotels and other crowded public places. The logistics were massive and complex. Explosives, primarily RDX, were smuggled into India through the Raigad coast. The operation involved multiple landing points and a complex distribution network across the city. Tiger Memon, a key Dawood associate, played a crucial role in organizing the logistics within India. His family members were actively involved in storing the explosives and coordinating the movements. The training for the operatives took place in Pakistan, where experts from terrorist organizations provided instruction in handling explosives and executing the attacks. The funding came directly from D Company's vast criminal resources, demonstrating how organized crime could finance terrorism. On March 12, 1993, the plan was executed with devastating precision. At 1:30 p.m., the first explosion rocked the basement of the Bombay Stock Exchange. The timing was calculated for maximum casualties during the busy lunch hour. Within the next 2 hours, 12 more explosions tore through the city. The sequence of blasts created panic and confusion, overwhelming emergency services. The scale of destruction was unprecedented. The stock exchange building was severely damaged, symbolizing an attack on India's economic heart. The Air India building, once the tallest in Mumbai, was gutted.
The global fugitive, Dawood's life in exile and expanding empire. Following the 1993 bombings, Dawood Ibrahim's world changed forever. He could no longer operate freely from Dubai, where he had been based through the late 1980s and early 1990s. International pressure, particularly from India and the United States, forced him to seek safer havens. His first major move was to Pakistan, where he initially settled in Karachi. This relocation was facilitated by elements within Pakistan's establishment who saw strategic value in harboring him. In Pakistan, Dawood's lifestyle became increasingly fortified and secretive. He lived in heavily guarded compounds, moving frequently between locations in Karachi and other cities. His security detail included former military personnel and sophisticated surveillance systems. Despite being a fugitive, his criminal operations continued to expand and diversify globally. The 1990s saw D Company establishing footholds in new territories across Asia, Africa, and Europe. They developed particularly strong networks in Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and the United Arab Emirates. These locations served as transit points for narcotics, arms smuggling, and money laundering operations. The gang also expanded into Southeast Asia, using Thailand and Malaysia as bases for heroin trafficking. In Africa, they established connections in South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria for diamond smuggling and drug distribution. European operations focused on the United Kingdom, where the large South Asian diaspora provided cover for their activities. D Company's modus operandi evolved significantly during this period. They moved from direct involvement in crimes to acting as master facilitators and financiers. The organization operated like a multinational corporation with separate divisions for different illegal activities. Narcotics remained their primary revenue source, but they diversified into new criminal enterprises. One major expansion was into counterfeit currency operations. The gang flooded the Indian market with high-quality fake Indian rupees, causing significant economic damage. They established printing presses in Pakistan and Bangladesh, with distribution networks across India. Another lucrative venture was human trafficking and illegal immigration. They developed sophisticated networks for smuggling people from South Asia to Europe and North America. This operation generated massive profits while exploiting desperate migrants. The gang also deepened its involvement in legitimate businesses as fronts for money laundering. They invested heavily in real estate developments across the Middle East and South Asia, Hotels, shopping malls, and residential complexes became conduits for cleaning black money. In Pakistan, D Company developed strong ties with other terrorist organizations, particularly Lashkar-e-Taiba. This relationship proved mutually beneficial. The business of terror, D Company's global network and operations. The turn of the millennium saw D Company evolving into a sophisticated multinational criminal enterprise. While Dawood remained the symbolic head, the organization operated through a complex corporate-like structure. The gang established separate verticals for different criminal activities, each with its own leadership and operational autonomy. The narcotics division remained the largest revenue generator, controlling major heroin routes from Afghanistan to Europe. They developed new smuggling methods, including hiding drugs in legitimate cargo shipments. The gang used fishing vessels from the Makran coast to transport narcotics to Africa and Europe. From Africa, the drugs were distributed to European markets through established networks. The counterfeit currency operation became increasingly sophisticated during this period. D Company set up printing presses in remote areas of Pakistan with advanced security features. They employed skilled printers and used high-quality paper to produce fake Indian currency notes. The distribution network spanned across India through border crossings in Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. This operation severely impacted India's economy and was considered economic terrorism by authorities. The real estate and construction business became a major money laundering avenue. D Company invested heavily in property developments in Karachi, Dubai, and other locations. They used front companies and benami transactions to hide ownership. In Dubai, they partnered with local developers on major projects, cleaning black money through real estate investments. The gang also expanded into the entertainment and hospitality industries. They owned restaurants, hotels, and nightclubs across the Middle East and Southeast Asia. These businesses served dual purposes, generating legitimate income and providing money laundering opportunities. The Bollywood connection continued, though more discreetly than in the past. They financed films through complex networks of production companies. The gang also controlled several music and video piracy operations across South Asia. A significant development was D Company's entry into the oil smuggling business. They established networks for smuggling diesel and other petroleum products from the Middle East to South Asia. This operation involved corrupt officials in port authorities and customs departments. The gang developed sophisticated methods for siphoning and transporting fuel illegally. The human trafficking division expanded its operations globally. They specialized in smuggling people from South Asia to Europe and North America. The operations involved forged documents, corrupt immigration officials, and dangerous transportation routes. Migrants were charged exorbitant fees, often leading to debt bondage situations. D Company's cybercrime operations marked their entry into the digital era. They established call centers for credit card fraud and online betting scams. The gang recruited tech-savvy youth from Indian colleges for these operations. They also
The legacy and the man who vanished, Dawood's current status and lasting impact. As we enter the third decade of the 21st century, the figure of Dawood Ibrahim has taken on almost mythical proportions. The man himself has become a ghost, his physical presence replaced by digital shadows and intelligence reports. Yet, his legacy continues to shape organized crime in South Asia and beyond. The current whereabouts of Dawood Ibrahim remain one of the most closely guarded secrets in the intelligence world. Multiple agencies, including India's Research and Analysis Wing, RAW, Intelligence Bureau, IB, and the United States CIA have tracked him over the years. The consensus among intelligence communities places him in Karachi, Pakistan. Specifically, he is believed to be living in the upscale Clifton area, under the protection of Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence, ISI. His life in hiding is a study in contradictions, both lavish and constrained. He maintains several safe houses, each equipped with state-of-the-art security systems. His movements are carefully planned, using multiple decoy vehicles and routes. Despite the security concerns, he continues to enjoy certain luxuries, regular medical checkups, private chefs, and occasional gatherings with trusted associates. His health has become a subject of intense speculation in recent years. Reports suggest he suffers from diabetes and heart conditions. He is believed to have undergone treatment at Pakistani military hospitals under false identities. Some intelligence reports even suggest he may have traveled to European countries for specialized medical treatment. The D Company organization has undergone significant transformation in the digital age. While traditional crimes continue, there has been a major shift towards cybercrime and digital operations. The gang now runs sophisticated online betting and gambling operations targeting Indian and international markets. They have developed advanced cryptocurrency money laundering techniques. The organization's structure has become more decentralized and cellular. Different units operate independently, with limited knowledge of other operations. This has made the organization more resilient to law enforcement actions. The leadership has increasingly passed to younger family members and trusted lieutenants. Dawood's children, particularly his sons, are believed to be managing significant portions of the business. They have been educated in international business practices, bringing modern management techniques to the criminal enterprise. The gang's political connections have evolved with changing geopolitical realities. They have developed relationships with political parties across South Asia. In Pakistan, their connections extend beyond the establishment to various political factions. In India, despite claims of crackdowns, the gang maintains influence through money and intimidation. The economic impact of D Company's operations remains substantial. The fake currency operation alone is estimated to have pumped billions of counterfeit rupees into the Indian economy. Their narcotics trade continues to destroy countless lives across the subcontinent. The real estate holdings